Welcome to Breaking Wire. Please subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon for more updates. Tonight, uncertainty looms over a cornerstone of Canadian industry, the Horn Smelter in Rouyn-Noranda, Quebec. For generations, this facility has stood as a symbol of the region's industrial might and resilience, shaping the identity of the local community. As Canada's largest copper plant, it has operated for nearly a century, providing thousands of jobs and supporting countless families, but now faces a crisis that threatens its very existence. Reports of a possible shutdown by owner Glencore have sent shockwaves through the community and the country, raising fears about the future of local employment and the broader economic impact. Glencore denies any immediate closure, but admits to facing major financial and regulatory hurdles that could determine the plant's fate in the coming months. The core issue is the staggering cost of upgrading the aging facility to meet strict environmental laws, especially the urgent need to reduce arsenic emissions that have long been a concern for residents and health officials. The smelter is not just a workplace, it's a vital economic engine for the region and a key link in North America's copper supply chain, supporting industries far beyond Quebec. But it's under intense pressure to clean up its act for public health, as environmental groups and local families demand safer air and a healthier future for their children. Ongoing talks between Glencore, government, and the community will decide the fate of the smelter and its workforce, with negotiations growing more urgent as deadlines approach. What happens here could set a powerful precedent for heavy industry across Canada, influencing how other plants balance economic needs with environmental responsibility. The delicate balance between jobs and environmental responsibility is being tested like never before, and the outcome will ripple far beyond this Quebec town, shaping the future of Canadian industry for years to come. The anxiety began with a startling report suggesting Glencore might permanently shut the Horn Smelter, a facility that has stood as a pillar of Rouyn-Noranda's economy for decades. The reason? The immense cost of modernization, as much of the equipment is aging and in desperate need of upgrades. These upgrades aren't optional, they're essential to comply with Quebec's new, much stricter environmental regulations aimed at reducing pollution and protecting public health. Glencore denies any immediate plans for closure, but admits it has studied the costs involved, costs that could reach into the hundreds of millions of dollars, a staggering sum for any company. The financial strain isn't just about the upgrades. Daily operations are expensive, and the volatility of global copper prices adds even more pressure to the bottom line. Smelters worldwide are facing similar struggles, trying to stay profitable while investing heavily in cleaner, more efficient technology to meet rising environmental standards. For Horn, the rumored $200 million price tag isn't just a number. It underscores the massive scale of the challenge and the risk involved. Retrofitting an old plant like this is often far more expensive and complicated than building a new facility from scratch, due to outdated infrastructure and safety concerns. Glencore must carefully weigh this huge investment against the uncertain prospects of future profitability and long-term sustainability. The uncertainty leaves employees, their families, and the entire community anxiously wondering if a solution is possible, or if their livelihoods are at risk. At its heart, this is a crisis of survival, not just for the plant, but for the town that depends on it, as both face an uncertain future. Glencore responded quickly to rumors, firmly denying plans to close the Horn Smelter. Executives reassured employees, residents, and officials of their commitment to the facility. Yet Glencore has been transparent about the serious financial and regulatory challenges ahead. The company frames the issue as a complex problem needing collaboration from all stakeholders. Glencore is negotiating with government for support to fund modernization. Their message: determination to find a solution, not abandonment. By engaging openly, Glencore aims to rebuild trust and shift the conversation from crisis to opportunity. The company pledges to exhaust every option to keep the smelter running and transform it into a more sustainable operation. The Horn Smelter stands as the economic backbone of Rouyn-Noranda, employing nearly 650 people directly within its sprawling industrial complex. These are not just jobs, they represent livelihoods, families, and futures built around the steady hum of the smelter. Beyond its direct workforce, the smelter supports thousands more through contractors, suppliers, and local businesses. Its closure would devastate the community, triggering a cascade of job losses, shuttered storefronts, and a deep economic decline that would ripple through every corner of town. The Horn Smelter is also a critical link in North America's copper supply chain. Much of its output is exported to the United States, where it becomes the backbone of construction projects, powers the electronics industry, and is essential for manufacturing electric vehicles. If the smelter were to shut down, it could disrupt supply chains, create shortages, and drive up copper prices across the continent, affecting industries and consumers alike. Local leaders are urgently pressing Glencore for assurances and long-term commitments, highlighting just how vulnerable towns like Rouyn-Noranda are when they rely so heavily on a single major employer for their prosperity and stability. The smelter's tax contributions are vital. They fund essential public services like schools, emergency response, and infrastructure, while also supporting the survival of local businesses that depend on the steady flow of workers and their families. Losing the smelter would leave a hole in the community that would be nearly impossible to fill, both economically and socially, as businesses close and families are forced to move away. The fight to save the smelter is about more than just one factory. It's about protecting a way of life, preserving the bonds of community, and ensuring that future generations can thrive here. The stakes are nothing less than the long-term health, resilience, and future of the community and the entire region. The crisis at the Horn Smelter centers on meeting tough new environmental standards. For decades, the plant's arsenic emissions have raised public health concerns, prompting decisive government action. Glencore now faces a modernization bill that could exceed $200 million to install pollution control technology. Balancing this investment against profitability is a major challenge. Adding to the pressure is a class action lawsuit over historical emissions, intensifying scrutiny. The combination of strict regulations, public pressure, and legal challenges creates a difficult environment. Communities no longer accept pollution as the price of prosperity. The demand for cleaner industry is reshaping manufacturing. For Horn, it's simple: modernize or face closure. Glencore must decide how much it's willing to invest to secure the smelter's future. News of a possible closure prompted swift action from government leaders who reassured the public the plant wasn't closing. The stakes are high, politically and economically. Many residents and workers are focused on saving jobs, while others demand stricter environmental oversight. Union leaders are committed to working with all parties to keep the plant open. The debate highlights the tension between free market principles and protecting strategic industries. Calls for government intervention, possibly financial aid, are growing. The challenge: finding a solution that doesn't force Rouyn-Noranda to choose between jobs and health. The community demands a balanced approach for a sustainable future. The Horn Smelter's challenges reflect global trends squeezing the mining and metals industry. Older Western smelters struggle to compete with newer, less regulated plants abroad, especially in China. High labor and environmental costs make it tough to match global competitors. Volatile copper prices add to the uncertainty, making long-term investment risky. Global corporations like Glencore constantly reassess their assets, putting high-cost plants at risk. The crisis raises questions about North America's ability to secure critical minerals domestically. Reducing reliance on foreign suppliers is now a strategic priority. The Horn Smelter's fate mirrors industrial towns worldwide, caught between globalization, environmental responsibility, and economic reality. The solution must help Canadian industry adapt and survive in a changing world. The Horn Smelter is a pillar of Canada's industrial heritage and a pioneer in recycling e-waste for valuable metals. Its innovative capacity adds to its strategic importance if it can modernize. The path forward depends on successful negotiations between Glencore, the Quebec government, and stakeholders. Collaboration is essential to secure the plant's future. A workable financial formula, possibly involving government support, is needed for the costly upgrades. The government must weigh the smelter's strategic value against the cost of public investment. The outcome will set a precedent for Canada's mining sector and North America's industrial security. The goal: a sustainable solution that preserves jobs, meets environmental targets, and keeps this historic smelter running. The future of Rouyn-Noranda and Canadian industry hangs in the balance.